Hi guys, and welcome back to Stranger Worlds Nexus. Hidden deep within the Uinta Basin of northeastern Utah lies a place that defies all logic, a place where science, folklore and the unknown collide. This is SkinWalker Ranch, and towering above it all is the Mesa, a scar of red sandstone rising from the desert floor like a sentinel guarding ancient secrets. For decades, witnesses have reported strange lights moving in and out of it, orbs gliding through its ridges, and beams of energy and light shooting skyward. Some say the Mesa hides a buried object, a metallic anomaly, something intelligently placed. Others believe it's far older, perhaps ancient, even sacred. The stories here didn't begin with television shows or the modern investigations. They stretch back generations. Long before maps called this place the SkinWalker Ranch, local tribes avoided this land, calling it forbidden, a place of danger, of transformation, of portals between worlds. The name SkinWalker comes from the Navajo legend, shapeshifters, beings that could become animals moving between worlds. But the Ute people who live around this area spoke of something else, something far more less human. They warned outsiders never to dig, never to disturb the Mesa. It was as though they knew something was buried beneath. Over the last 3 decades, this ranch has become one of the most investigated places on Earth. From government-backed programs to billionaire-funded teams of scientists, everyone who stepped foot here has left with more questions than answers. So tonight we're asking the question few dare to voice. Was something modern, maybe military, maybe extraterrestrial, buried beneath this Mesa? Or is it something far, far more ancient? Something that's been here since time began? Whatever the truth is, it's locked inside that mountain of stone. And if the evidence points where it seems to, the Mesa might not just be rock, it might be a door. In 1994, a family looking for a quiet life found themselves at the centre of one of the strangest modern mysteries in America. Terry and Gwen Sherman, along with their children, bought this ranch for its open fields and peaceful isolation. But almost immediately they realised something was wrong. They began to find massive circular impressions pressed into the pastures and fields, as though something heavy, impossibly heavy, had landed there. Their cattle started to disappear, only to reappear mutilated, drained of blood, with surgical precision. Then came the creature. Terry Sherman described a giant wolf, 3 times the size of any he'd ever seen. It walked calmly towards him, unfazed by the family's shouting and moving around, when it grabbed a calf through the bars of the pen. Terry fired not once, not twice, but multiple times at point-blank range. The bullets hit. The creature didn't fall. It simply looked at him with eyes that glowed before trotting away, leaving no blood, no body, and only tracks that vanished within yards. That was the day that Terry knew something was deeply wrong here. Over the next 18 months, the Shermans recorded dozens of bizarre events, balls of orange light hovering above the ground, darting across the Mesa like intelligent drones, gigantic shadows moving across the ridges at night, voices echoing from nowhere, and strange metal craft hovering silently over the property before vanishing into thin air. At one point Terry said it's like we're living in a science fiction film. But the lights weren't just above them. Several times they appeared to enter the Mesa itself, disappearing into the rock face as if it were hollow or a doorway. When the Shermans tried to investigate, and they started digging near the base of the Mesa where they had seen the formation of lights, their equipment malfunctioned, batteries drained, cameras failed, and headaches also set in. The family became increasingly desperate. Dogs that once roamed the fields freely began cowering inside and scared to go out. Their livestock losses mounted. The sense of dread around the Mesa grew heavier with each passing week. Then came the orbs, glowing spheres, blue, white, orange, that seemed intelligent. Terry had followed one night as a blue orb danced low over the field. It hovered near his dogs, taunting them. The dogs chased it into a dense thicket. Moments later, he heard their terrified yelps, and then silence. When he reached the spot, he found nothing but 3 scorched patches of earth and the smell of burnt flesh. The dogs were gone. That was the breaking point. Within months, the Shermans had had enough. In 1996, they sold the ranch and moved away, leaving behind not just their home, but a legacy of one of the most disturbing series of encounters in modern American history, or human history. What's important about the Sherman era isn't just the horror they lived through, it's what they saw happening around the Mesa. Not just inside their home and the fields and pastures around, but the Mesa is the key. Because almost every major phenomenon, from glowing orbs to vanishing craft, seemed to centre on that ridge. It was as if something inside was radiating outwards, something that could manipulate light, magnetism and fear itself. When the Shermans left, few believed their stories, but one man did, and he had both the money and the motive to find out what was really happening here. That man was Robert Bigelow, and his arrival would change the ranch and paranormal investigations forever. When Robert Bigelow bought the SkinWalker Ranch in 1996, he didn't just purchase land, he bought one of the strangest hotspots of unexplained activity ever documented. Bigelow, a Las Vegas billionaire and aerospace genius, wasn't chasing ghost stories. He was searching for answers. He formed a scientific task force, the National Institute for Discovery Science, or NIDS, N-I-D-S, and filled the ranch with motion detectors, cameras, night vision equipment, and trained observers. This was the first time in history a paranormal hotspot was placed under 24-hour multidisciplinary surveillance. The early NIDS team included physicists, biologists, and even former military intelligence officers. Their mission was to study whatever was haunting this land and to see if the Mesa was somehow the key. But what they encountered defied every rule of investigation. Despite dozens of cameras and sensors aimed at the Mesa and surrounding fields, every time an anomaly appeared, the equipment failed. Power drains, corrupted videos, melted cables. One camera captured its own wiring being ripped out, but no visible person or animal was anywhere near it. Team members began reporting glowing orbs darting in and out of the Mesa. Some appeared metallic, others translucent, and one night 2 NIDS investigators watched a portal, an opening of orange light, appear in midair near the Mesa slope, and through it they claimed to see a creature crawling out, a humanoid but massive, moving on all fours before vanishing into the darkness. They documented everything. They even brought in thermal images and radar, which confirmed that something was solid, warm and moving. No ordinary technology seemed to capture the full picture. When a team member placed a magnetometer near the Mesa, the readings spiked wildly, then flatlined. In other cases, the ranch's dogs refused to go near the Mesa for weeks after a bright beam of light erupted from the centre of it one night. The NIDS reports, though never fully released, described consistent electromagnetic anomalies centered directly under the Mesa. Some readings hinted at a metallic object being buried beneath the rock. By 2004, after years of high-cost monitoring and little definitive proof, Bigelow shut down the NIDS. But the data that they'd gathered would later catch the attention of someone much higher up in the United States government itself. The mystery of the SkinWalker Ranch was far from over. In fact, it was about to enter its most classified phase yet. While most believe the SkinWalker Ranch story had faded, Behind closed doors, it had just reached the Pentagon. In 2007, a shadowy research program known as AAWSAP, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program, was quietly created under the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA. Its public purpose to study advanced aerospace threats. Its hidden purpose to investigate UFOs, strange anomalies, strange energies, and yes, the phenomena reported at SkinWalker Ranch. The AAWSAP's contract was awarded to Bigelow's company, BAASS, BAASS, Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies. So the ranch, once again, became ground zero for classified science. The focus this time was sharper. Multiple teams studied the Mesa directly, digging, drilling and scanning beneath its surface. They discovered powerful magnetic anomalies and unexplained radiation spikes, as though something intelligent or powered lay below. But whenever they tried to dig, the same pattern emerged. Machines failed, cameras stopped working, and in several documented cases, team members fell violently ill, suffering nausea, headaches, even temporary paralysis. One investigator described a sensation of pressure as though the Mesa was watching them. Another said a blue orb shot out of a ridge, hovering silently before shooting into the night sky. The program's files, later leaked and confirmed by journalists, reveal that the government took the phenomena seriously. They funded reports on propulsion, wormholes, dimensional portals, and even non-human intelligences, NHI. But just as quickly as it began, the program vanished. AWSAP officially ended in 2012, later replaced by a smaller, more secretive study known as AATIP, AATIP, headed by Luis Elizondo. Yet many insiders believe research at SkinWalker Ranch continued long after under private contracts. The Mesa once again remained the focal point. Even in internal reports, scientists described it as a potential origin or containment site of energy. Some believed it might conceal a craft, a power source, or even a natural anomaly. Whatever it was, they couldn't move it and they couldn't explain it. So the government pulled back and Bigelow sold the ranch. But in doing so, he handed the torch to a man determined to reveal the truth to the public eye, Brandon Fugal. In 2016, billionaire Brandon Fugal purchased the SkinWalker Ranch, stepping into the legacy of terror, mystery, and unanswered questions. But Fugal had a vision, not just to observe, but to investigate scientifically and perhaps uncover the secrets hidden beneath the Mesa. He assembled a team led by Dr. Travis Taylor, a physicist and aerospace engineer, alongside experts in biology, geology, and paranormal research. Their mission: to study anomalies with the most advanced tools available. From the outset, it became clear the Mesa was active. Thermal cameras detected sudden heat spikes along its walls. Infrared sensors picked up orbs moving into and out of the Mesa's crevices. Even ground-penetrating radar suggested unusual densities beneath the rock, shapes inconsistent with natural geology. Then came one of the most striking discoveries: a green-like jelly substance, first noted in 2017 during a borehole survey. The material appeared like jelly, almost organic, yet contained microscopic metal particles and traces of burnt flammable compounds. In other words, evidence of a fire deep inside the Mesa a long, long time ago. And Dr. Taylor commented, "Whatever caused this isn't on the surface. It happened underneath, and it wasn't recent." The team also uncovered small metal fragments that didn't match any known military alloy, sparking debate over whether they were remnants of craft or something even stranger. Over the months of observation, the Fugal team documented orbs entering and exiting the Mesa in patterns that seemed deliberate, almost intelligent. Beams of light rising from the fissures at night, sometimes reaching hundreds of feet into the sky. Temperature anomalies, electromagnetic spikes, and unexplained energy fields that caused instruments to fail, and animal behavior changes, including dogs refusing to approach the Mesa and birds circling obsessively. The data suggests a startling conclusion. The Mesa itself might be a conduit, a node where energy, matter, or even life could pass through, independent of human control. For Brandon Fugal, the goal was clear: observe, record, and let the evidence speak. Unlike previous owners, his team was not driven by fear, but by curiosity and the conviction that the Mesa was far more than just a geological feature. The phenomena of the Mesa extended far beyond human imagination. Multiple accounts describe craft hovering above the Mesa, ranging from discs to orbs, moving with precision no human pilot could replicate. Brandon himself reported a 40 to 50 foot silver disc hovering silently above the ridge within months of acquiring the property. Local residents have corroborated these sightings, glowing objects seen entering and exiting the Mesa and disappearing at impossible speeds. Some of these orbs appear intelligent, interacting with their environment, reacting to light. Legend and science intertwine at SkinWalker Ranch. Infrared and thermal cameras show light emerging from fissures, sometimes forming circular openings, portals of sorts. Witnesses report seeing orbs disappear into these lights and reappear elsewhere, echoing the stories from Native American folklore, describing doorways between worlds. The beams are not consistent with any known natural phenomena. Some researchers theorize dimensional or interdimensional gateways. Others propose unknown energy sources beneath the Mesa. Whatever they are, the lights persist, night after night, year after year, regardless of human presence. The Mesa isn't just home to lights and metal. Cryptids, creatures defying explanation, have also been reported for decades. Terry Sherman described a wolf-like monster 3 times the size of a normal wolf. Brandon Fugal's team noted strange footprints, growls in the night, and animals exhibiting freakish fear responses near the Mesa. One witness, passing by the ranch, saw a humanoid figure with glowing eyes on top of the Mesa, watching silently before vanishing. These creatures seem tied to the Mesa itself. They appear, disappear, and sometimes interact with light phenomena or orbs. So the researchers suggest they are guardians, observers, or entities drawn to the Mesa's energy. Public sightings further corroborate these events. Residents and travellers near the ranch have reported hovering lights and discs at night, orbs moving into the Mesa and vanishing within seconds, beams of light piercing clouds, sometimes leaving trails visible for miles, and occasionally auditory anomalies, unidentified sounds echoing across the Mesa. The consistency of reports from the Shermans to the NID scientist to Fugal's team and local residents points to one undeniable fact: the Mesa is the epicenter of activity. It's not random, it is focused, persistent, and unexplainable by conventional means. This is where we arrive at the question that drives all investigations. Are these phenomena the result of something modern, hidden military tech, or experimental craft placed here within the last few decades? Or is it something far older, something ancient that has existed long before humans recorded it, manipulating space, energy, and life itself? After decades of investigation, one question dominates every conversation about SkinWalker Ranch: what lies beneath the Mesa? Some suggest modern explanations. Perhaps they argue the phenomena are the results of military experiments, secret craft buried deep underground, advanced propulsion systems, or energy devices developed in the last 30 years. But when we examine the evidence, this theory begins to crumble. Satellite imagery over the past 40 years show no indication of ground disruption, excavation, or large-scale construction near the Mesa. If modern agencies had placed something here in the last few decades, we would expect records, movement of equipment, or at least some trace in public or classified maps and paper trails. Witnesses, locals and travellers recall seeing phenomena long before the UFO craze of the 1990s and before Bigelow's involvement. Even proponents of government involvement acknowledge the timing problem. Phenomena have been recorded before modern programs, suggesting something existed long before ATIP, AWSAP, or Bigelow's NIDS. The other possibility, and the one increasingly supported by both observation and logic, is ancient origin. Indigenous legends speak of portals, shapeshifters, and places of forbidden power, aligning eerily with today's documented phenomena. The Mesa itself shows signs of burnt flammable compounds deep within, evidence of fires or explosions centuries, maybe millennia ago. Geological anomalies suggest metallic objects, unnatural densities, and energy conduits beneath the surface. In other words, whatever is here isn't just modern technology. It's something older, deeper, and far more mysterious. A power that has persisted through time, hidden from casual observation, manifesting in ways humans can barely comprehend. The Mesa might be a junction between dimensions, a repository of ancient energy, or even a living system in ways we cannot measure. Every UFO, every orb, every cryptid sighting, every burned gelatinous material and metallic fragment could be evidence of this ancient force interacting with our world. The choice is stark. Either humanity has secretly buried highly advanced technology without leaving a trace, or the Mesa itself is a natural or pre-human phenomena, something truly ancient, enigmatic, and alive. And when you consider the timeline of sightings, the Shermans' experiences, the NIDS and Fugel's discoveries, the ancient explanation becomes the only one that fits every piece of evidence. So, what is buried in the Mesa? Modern, secretive technology, the work of recent decades, or something older, far older, that humanity has yet to comprehend? The evidence points overwhelmingly to the latter. This isn't a military site, it's a nexus, a place where energy, intelligence, and perhaps life itself converge in ways we cannot explain. The Mesa remains a sentinel of mystery, guarding its secrets from the prying eyes of science, the government, and the curious. Even now, orbs rise and vanish, beams of light pierce the darkness, and strange creatures roam its shadowed slopes. We may never fully understand it, but one thing is certain: SkinWalker Ranch and its Mesa challenge everything we believe about reality. As we leave, we can only watch and wonder, and hope that someday the secrets buried deep within the Mesa will reveal themselves, because whatever is there, ancient, intelligent, or alive, it is waiting and watching. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and leave a comment. Let me know if you've had any paranormal experiences, any thoughts on the SkinWalker Ranch or what is in the Mesa. Yeah, drop me a comment, and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.